We're going to go over some questions that I had in the comments sections from some videos I had doing DCC and Digitrax. So let's get started with that right now. I'm Tom Kvichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. And in the comments that I get, there was a few questions in there that I answered, and I'm going to go over them with you here if you haven't seen them. There's some good information in there, and so let's get started with that right now. Well, out of that, I got quite a few questions about DCC, and I'm going to go over a few of them here. One of the first ones I got, and they're in no particular order, is from PieWacket69. It says, "Hi Tim." Okay, it's my name's Tom. "Thanks for instructions on using the PR3 and JMRI. I have been having troubles with my PR3 not finding decoders in my engines, even if the engines are store-bought with decoders already inside and program. I would like to discuss my settings with you. Can you advise if you would like a PM, or can we discuss this here for others to learn as well?" Well, I always like to discuss the things right there in the comments, unless it's a specific problem where I need more details than I ask you to email. But I've responded to them a couple of times and I haven't heard back, so I would hope that you would see this and respond back. The first time I responded back, I said, "Thanks for watching and your question. I think many have had the same issues, and from what I find, it's always a bad connection between the PR3 and the program track. When I was doing this video, I had the same issue of not being able to read the loco on the track at first. I only had a temporary track in place, but I'm planning on putting in a permanent track. Even after having successfully read locos, I still had issues later in the day. I have to play with the wires to get it to read." And then a couple of days later, I wrote back and I said, "Are your settings any different than mine that you can see in the video or in the beginner's video," the one that I put out yesterday, that I said I uploaded today? "Is there an error message at the bottom of the page similar to can't read or no response whenever you attempt to read the decoder? I can help you further with more information." Well, you know, if you're going to write and ask for a question, and if you find something, it would be really nice if you could respond back so other people could see and learn from what you have found. That way, I know if what I'm doing is good. Okay, I had another question from the video, "Simple CV Settings for More Realistic Operation with Economy Decoders." Paul D said, "Hi Tom, great helpful video. I set up the CVs as you said. I do have one problem. I was running my S2 up my switchback, but it seems to shudder while accelerating up the incline. Any ideas, please?" And I said, "Thanks, Paul. If you're losing lights and sound whenever it shudders, you can be losing contact for many different reasons, through your tracks or wheels. If the lights stay on constantly while you're having the problem, most likely it could be a mechanical issue. Try changing the settings for your max and mid voltage back to the default settings. If that clears it up, you may have to increase the max voltage setting." He came back with another response, "Tom, do you know anything about adding a stay alive circuit to this Bachmann Elko?" Well, that tells me that you was having a problem with continuity on the track between the tracks and the wheels. And I said, "Hi, Paul. I haven't had my Elko S2 apart as yet, but I'm sure there is a way to add one of these devices to your decoder. Some decoders have plugs for this purpose, others don't. Considering these are economy decoders, I would guess they do not, but I could be wrong. The only way to tell is to remove the shell and look at the decoder itself. If you're not comfortable with taking the loco apart, maybe a local hobby shop can do it for you if you have one close by. And I haven't heard back from him since then, and I wrote him back again. Paul, here is a good site talking about stay alive circuits on various decoders. I didn't see anything on the Bachmann Elco S2, but there was one on the Bachmann RS3. So Paul D, contact me back and let me know what's going on with your locomotive. Digitrax Super Empire Builder Extra DCC components. Why the different voltages? Are there better usage of or control over things on the layout? And I wrote back, scale and size of layout is the reason for the different voltages on the power supplies. Okay, and then he asked another question on another video, Model Railroading for Beginners, DCC, comparing Digitrax sets. Could you add a Walkaround Throttle to a Zephyr Extra at a later date? I said, hi Scott, yes you can through the LocoNet ports on the back. You could hook up a UP5 panel through the cables and plug your throttle into the front of the UP5 also. Fog Dan wrote about CV settings for your bell and horn on Bachmann Sound Value DCC locomotives. And this was a tough one. It took me a while to come up with a good response or a good answer to it, but he said, do you know of a CV that you can change on the loco so the sound don't play once you power up the system? Keep up the good work on this channel. And I wrote back, pressing F8 on your throttle will mute the sound on the sound value equipped locomotive. If you do this at the end of your session before powering off, the sound will be muted when you start back up. The master volume on these decoders is CV128. Some decoders have a quiet mode timeout period, but there is none listed for the Bachmann Sound Value locos. Now, on the PDFs that you get from the manufacturers, they'll give you a list of the CVs and the default values, but won't explain it any further than that. He wrote back and says, I will give this a try. Thank you very much. I said, you're welcome. I gave it a try and engine still starts up with the power turns on. So that didn't work. And my reasoning behind giving him that answer was on, at least on the Digitrax throttle, you could see the F keys that you press, and it's on the top of the display. So whenever you press something and you power off, you power back on, it still shows up on the top. Well, apparently with the F8 it doesn't work. I didn't try it, but he said it didn't work. Okay, not sure why that happens. Typically whenever a function is on, when you power off, the same numbers will appear on the throttle when powering back up. Let me try a few things and I'll get back with you. I found the solution for him while I was doing a video on JMRI and the PR3. I found your solution. Not sure if every decoder uses the same CV for this function, but on the Elco S2 from Bachmann, I've been using it is CV116 exhaust control. The default setting is 39, but when you change it to 7, it turns off the engine until the throttle knob is set to 01. When I was doing my video on the PR3 and JMRI, I found the setting in there, and there's a lot of other things on JMRI that you can't find in your documentation for your decoders. So that's the questions and answers that we had going on. Wacket69 and Paul D, if you could respond back, let me know what's going on with your question. I gave you some answers there and haven't heard back from you yet, so appreciate a response on that. And anyway, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You know why? 'Cause it's free. And ding that bell also whenever you want to be notified of when I have a video coming out. That's about it for now. We'll have some more questions and answers. And if you would like to support this channel, go to Patreon and you will receive rewards based on the tier that you sign up for. So thank you for your support, and we'll see you the next time. Tomorrow is Shout Out Monday evening, and on Wednesday will be the Gravely Building, and right after that, the power supply. I don't have it right here, but it's on the floor in the other room, and that's going to be out this coming week also. So keep an eye out for that too. So we'll see you. Let me put this thing over here. It's not live, but this will end it, and this will give me the opportunity to put all the little things up at the end of the video. And I'm not sure if it'll 20 seconds long, but we'll give it a try here. Bye-bye.